Give her hell. Give her hell.
Something like that.
A lot of wind at that speed.
It's just like, I'm so amazed by this chassis, dude. Like, best decision of my life was getting rid of that Miata. Easily. I'm so much happier. I can hot lap. Even when the cooling system wasn't right and it was definitely out of blown coolant seal, I could still hot lap it and it wouldn't get hot.
But the FC chassis takes so much more horsepower.
No,
because the Miata chassis is so weak.
Right.
You know,
you've got space to do shit. They've got that long nose. You don't have to cram everything in there.
I had it.
Thanks for coming out.
Hell yeah. Well, I think I'm going to rip out of here.
Yeah, you gotta.
So, glad the car's ripping. And dude, I'm going to go home and work on stuff.
Bro, like, if you have time, are you possibly coming out tomorrow?
Dude, I don't think I'll be up here tomorrow. If the weather's like super nice,
it's gonna be nice. Partially cloudy all day tomorrow.
Like, in the morning.
Because I want to get a ride, dude. Like, you definitely earned that.
Yeah. I'm happy it's ripping.
Happy it's running good.
I feel good in that thing, man.
Yeah, man. You look good. Like, it rips. I'm excited to pull the 360 footage from inside too.
I'm gonna close this so it stops tripping in my damn oil.
Yeah, I was watching that. It's like barely missing your oil filler.
It's making me nervous.
It's fine.
We're gonna do
Hold
an oil
on.
change.
Alright guys, gnarly, cold, super rainy day here at Beach Bend, and I get to drive home in the Corvette, which is going to be nice and warm, comfy, and I don't have to wear earplugs, so I'm stoked. However, I would have loved to be here drifting in the silver car, because it's just a good atmosphere. It's good fun. I enjoyed the drift community and hanging out with them, and even though the silver car is not one of those fancy gnarly angle drift cars, it's at least super fun and a very respectable car out there. So hopefully the old Corvette does not get stuck in the mud, because 325 Pilot Sport Cup 2s aren't exactly the best mud tire. So let's just survive. I parked facing downhill, so we should make it. Alright, so since we decided to take the Corvette mudding yesterday at Import Alliance and it rained, we gotta wash the car. And I gotta let it warm up so I can do an oil change. I'm also going to build some ramps to be able to get the front of the car up high enough. Probably end up being like 3 or 4 2x6s high. So that way I can get the car up off the ground and get my jack under it, because we gotta change the oil. And if you've never done an oil change on a dry sump LS7, it takes 10 quarts because race car. So let's keep going. So on this car, there's 2 drain plugs, one right here. What I've read, pull this one first, then pull this one. Don't entirely know the why, where, what, or how, but that's what the internet says, so it must be right. My thing is, as long as it looks like there's 10 quarts of oil in this, then I think we'll be good. Somebody didn't like this guy at the oil change place. For those not Corvette people, this is the dry sump. It has a big tank over here. Gotta love 7-liter bone stock awesomeness. The other thing I need to do is 3-prong cap. I gotta order the cap that fits this so I can run my pressure bleeder on there. Good, they're both the same, the clutch and this. Well, that's a 5-prong cap. Huh, okay. Well, I want to get the caps for these so I can put the pressure bleeder on it so I can bleed out all of the .3, because I'm going to change it to Motul 660 or whatever that is before I take it to the track day in November. So, which is like 2 weeks. So we'll get that ordered today. We'll get the brake fluid ordered today. We should be able to swap that out this week. Thing's filthy after driving it yesterday. Alright guys, it's substantially later in the evening from when I last saw you. However, we have accomplished quite a bit. So, I made a huge mess over here. I don't know. I don't think YouTube will care, but if you know too much about things and stuff, we did some things and stuff to make some things and stuff here, because you never know when you might need spare things and stuff. So, anyways, took care of that this afternoon. What I also took care of this afternoon, in addition to, I redug my ditch all the way down the side of the road and moved the actual, like, the ditch line about 1.5 feet further into the hill from the driveway. And what that did basically makes me let my driveway be wider. But I had it in this last rainstorm just a little bit ago, this past weekend. It overflowed one of my little rock like check dam things that I had and flowed across the driveway. So I hadn't had issues with it in a while, but there was a ton of leaves in there. So now we should be good. Anyways, back to the real stuff. These are your rear suspension links, and I burned out the bushings. So we can do that. Notice that one's not entirely straight. That one's straight. That one's not entirely straight. And this one's like mega not entirely straight. So, yeah, probably just going to use these. They'll be fine. That little bit of a bend ain't going to hurt nothing. And we'll put the energy suspension bushings back in there. And I still got to burn out the Watts link bushings. I just didn't have it taken apart while I had the fire going. And basically tomorrow is going to mark the start of I'm going to tear all this rear suspension stuff, take the brake lines, all that fuel system stuff, and start cleaning all of that to be able to put it back on the car. And then we get to start putting the car back together. So I got the tension rods off, and I'm trying to pull these tension rod brackets off, but I broke the welds on this bolt and it's just super rusty. So I got to get in here and cut these, but unfortunately I don't have any cutting discs for my angle grinder because I busted them up and broke one of them. So I got to do with that. But that's where this sits. This right here is the this, and these are the skid plate mounts. So the skid plate basically goes all the way from here to here. So once we get the bottom of the car put back together, I'm going to clean the engine bay up and respray that. And real quick, I'll probably respray the black for the inner fenders here and here. That'll get done before I put the rear links on. I got to mask all this off so that when I do spray the black, and I'll probably flip it over, so when I do spray the black, I don't get any black on this pristine white paint job. So the rear end, I cleaned it up already once. I got to go back over with the wire wheel, and I need to take the set screws out of this to pull these springs off. These are pretty rusty, so hopefully they come off. If not, we'll make them come off. But I did have to, when I took this apart, you'll see right here, I had to cut one of these brake lines just because the fitting was super jammed up in the rubber line. So I cut it there just to, I can always get the fitting out of the rubber line, put a new fitting on this, versus trying to tear it up. So it kind of just rounded this edge off. But when you strip the brake lines off this, wire wheel the crap out of this, make it nice and clean. We'll respray it some nice black. Probably going to paint it with that rock guard stuff. So just like a little bit of some texture, but I think that'll be fine. It's a good paint to like stick to stuff. And then basically just put this back together. So I am going to probably gonna upload a mountain bike video midweek this week. Hopefully Justin has something. If not, this week might be a little bit light on the videos because I'm going to be doing all this cleaning, and cleaning takes time, and time means not daily uploads. So we're going to go ahead and just get that stuff done. And although I could have done a bunch of that stuff today, it was important to get the things and stuff done because I was borrowing the jig and everything. So anyways, that's that. Super stoked on the weekend. Import Alliance was epic. I say epic not because like the show was cool. That's really not my scene. I'm not a big like stance boy whatever guy, and the like I guess I don't know, short rant. You go to a hot rod show, the car that wins the car show or is the baddest car there doesn't have OEM paint, right? So the cars that were there at Import Alliance and stuff, it's like a red Supra, a red NSX, and they've probably been repainted, but a lot of the other cars there are OEM paint. You go to a hot rod show, you go to Tri-5 Chevy Nats, you go to, even LS Fest, you have like $180,000 builds. For example, Tri-5 Chevy Nats, the car that won was a 55 Chevy pickup, and it was black, and literally the whole side of it, perfect. I mean, there was not a single wave, not anything in that. And in my mind, you put a wrap on a car, that's just like not quite doing the full build justice. Wraps are fairly easy. You can do some crazy stuff, and it hides a lot of the, imperfections, like crazy waves in the body. So anyways, that's my opinion. Not my scene. The drifting was super fun. Drag racing got rained out. It was a little cold, but there seemed to be a decent amount of cars there. Did some pulls on the way home against I know the guy, local guy, I forget his name, but he's got an Admiral Blue C7. It's just a C7 Stingray, but it's got a built motor, E85, and a whole bunch of stuff. And we did some like pulls in the rain on 65, and his car was just getting squirrely, but definitely put the gap on the Corvette. So anyways, apologize in this video talking, but it was an epic weekend. Stoked to show you guys some footage. I put it at the beginning so you guys can watch all of that. Thank you everyone who watched this far in the video, and look forward to, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you with some suspension stuff here on how to make it not bind this week, or probably the end of this week. And my goal this week is to have basically a majority, if not all of this stuff back on, so I can set this thing on the ground next weekend. So with that, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see some more stuff, and keep it rad.